Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for taking some time for us today. We are really excited to be meeting with you to share a little bit more information about MGT and all the great things we can help you out with. We really appreciate you taking some time to join us. We may have a couple other folks from the team joining in. For now, at least you've got myself, Dan Coakley, and Annalise. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Oh, I think you're muted still. Hey, there you go. Well, I'm Dan Coakley. I'm the partner activation leader here at MGT. You can kind of think of me, especially as you're just getting started with us, as your MGT fixer. If you're ever not sure who to reach out to, you got a quick question, need some extra support, please always feel welcome to get in touch. You're never bothering me. That's actually what we call job security in my book. So, Annalise, you ready to go?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
Awesome, great folks. My name is Annalise and I work in partnership success here at MGT Insurance. And what my role here is really just to build relationships with you agents so that you can trust MGT Insurance and use us as one of your main carriers. So I'll be a great resource here. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I'll be monitoring the chat and the Q&A function, so don't be shy.
Yes. And so just very, very important underline there. Please use the chat function to ask any questions. We will take questions live as we go through this presentation with you today. And the one thing we don't want you to do is sign out of this meeting with the thought on your mind of, wow, I just wish I would have asked this or that, or oh, if only I knew this. That is what we are here to help out with, as well as just showing you around the platform and talking appetite and all those great things. So please don't hold back. I promise there is someone else in the meeting that has that exact same question, but they're too shy to ask. So you'll be doing them a favor. Um, and while we wait to get started, it's about 1 minute past the hour. I like to give everybody, 2 or 3 minutes to get signed in. I've got a quick question for the group. When you have some time to get away from your desk, get out of the office for a few days, are you a beach person or a mountain person? Use that chat feature and let us know.
I keep waiting for you to change this question, Dan.
It's such a good question, and I've
No,
already
it's
got my cheesy jokes worked out for it.
it's not even that. I just want forest included. I just want it as an
We'll make
option.
forest as an option this week only, though.
See, look, even Eden or Eden, sorry if I mispronounce it, like they know. Forest should be there. It's not beach or mountain, it's also forest. And then there's prairie,
Oh,
desert, but I don't know. I don't know who like vacations in the desert.
I feel like there's probably as many people who accidentally vacation in the desert as people who intentionally do it. Looks like we got some good answers coming in. I see some mountains by the river. Excellent. Beach, both. I love that answer. MGT, Steve, you're the man. We love to have you here. Forest, mountain lakes, love that. Couple beaches, a run forest. I'm not going to do my impression of that, but I love that movie. Great reference, Chad. Well, whether you are a beach person, a mountain person, forest, desert, or prairie person, I hope what you'll see today in our time together is how you can write more commercial insurance, making it faster and easier than it's ever been, and ultimately get some more time back in your life that you can use to get out to all these wonderful places that make life worth living. So, see, didn't that sound pretty slick and pretty practice? Let
Yeah.
me go ahead and get this party kicked off for
I
us.
still don't see why you couldn't include forest in that, but that's fine.
So, with MGT, the era of neo insurance has arrived. And some of you may be sitting at your desk wondering just what the heck is neo insurance? Probably, maybe not a term that you've heard before. That's because we're doing something new. We are the world's first neo insurer. To understand what that means, We'll start by thinking about the insurance carriers that we all know and, sometimes love. The ones with the TV commercials, the ones that have been around for sometimes hundreds of years, helping protect people's businesses and livelihoods and doing a lot of great things. But as they've all grown and evolved, their top of mind, number one priority has not always been making things as fast and easy and a word we like to throw around that you don't often hear associated with insurance, delightful. That's really our goal is to deliver an experience that actually makes people glad that they did it. Um, and because of that, it can be kind of tough to work with some of these companies. There can be a lot of inefficiencies, a lot of delays, a lot of paperwork. And that's really kind of what MGT exists to give you an alternative to. You've also got, over the last several years, techs joining the space. Many of them are MGAs, MGUs. You get the whole alphabet soup. You've got fronting companies, you've got wholesalers, but however they're set up, the overall focus, the way these companies work tends to be they put a nice layer of technology, a good kind of customer experience on top of that legacy experience that we all know. And it's great when it's great, but because they don't fully control that process and that product, can open up a lot of struggles, a lot of competing incentives. And that's really where MGT represents the future of the industry. We're built on a platform, on a base of modern technology. When you work with us, it will feel like working with, many of the companies that you work with every day. It's not a lot of paperwork. There's not a lot of roadblocks and hurdles coming your way. Our goal really is to make it as fast and easy as possible to meet your business goals and then maybe get out of the office a little early so you can go to the beach or the mountains. Now, a couple quick facts about MGT. We are rated A minus by AM Best, so we've got excellent financial strength. We're also writing all of our policies on 100% ISO form BOP policies. Because of that, those are the most legally tested forms on the market. Anytime you're taking a designation or a licensing test and it references policy language, very, very good bet it's referencing the ISO policy language. What you'll really appreciate is we've built a zero friction, 100% fully digital process. There are no accord forms. We will never come back to you and ask you to do 45 pages of supplemental applications. Will not have to deal with 3 week long back and forth email chains with our underwriting team to firm up details. You really can and will receive a fully bindable quote back in just a few minutes. We'll show you how that works soon. We've also got a wide footprint. Today, we are admitted in over 40 states, and we're continuing to expand. The only two states that we are not planning to go into are Hawaii and Florida. So true coast-to-coast presence. Now, we've got some numbers on the screen now. Not going to read all these off, but the one that I do like to highlight is that in the first quarter this year, we had 100% uptime on our platform. And that means that 100% of the time, somebody needed to access MGT to quote, bind, issue, service, renew a policy, answer someone's questions, download documents, make an endorsement request, whatever the case was. Our platform was live, our technology was fully operational, ready to help accomplish those goals. Now, thinking about appetite, we are writing over 300 classes of business with a focus on small business. We're going to be a great fit for artisan contractors, professional and medical offices, retailers, wholesalers and distributors, barbershops, beauty parlors, nail salons, bakeries, grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants, up to 50% alcohol sales can all be a great fit with MGT. We are writing businesses up to 3 million revenues for most risks, up to 5 million revenue for professional and medical offices, up to 100 employees, up to 30,000 square feet as a general rule of thumb. There's a little nuance there, but that should give you some good guidance. Up to 2 million total insured value per location with up to 4 locations per policy. And don't hold yourself back and limit yourself. We are able to handle some risks that, might not look like the kind of thing you could just instant quote and knock out. So send us your new ventures. Businesses with no prior insurance, claims history, coverage lapses can all be eligible.
A quick question from Deepak about whether or not we're admitted in California. We sure are. Hang tight, and we're going to keep talking about that. But absolutely, the answer is yes.
Yes, it's been great too. So definitely think about us on those California risks. Um, we or I get caught all the time saying that we write just the bop or we only write bops, but the reality is we do a lot more than just the bop. We've got a lot of great coverage add-ons that you can access to attach to it and really build a policy that's going to fully protect a business and answer all their concerns. Not going to read through all these line items here. I will highlight, though, maybe a couple of the most impactful additional coverages you can add. Professional liability is not available for office risks, but it is available and is really compelling for barbershops, beauty parlors, nail salons, and photographers. We also can support hired non-owned auto as an add-on to the BOP. For contractors, gets a ton of interest with them. For restaurants that aren't doing any self-delivery, for a lot of our office and retail classifications. So definitely a good one to look at when it's available. Then if anyone's joining us from a monopolistic workers' comp state, we have got stopgap coverage available in those states as well. Now, I've got some optional coverages up on the sublimit, or sorry, up on the screen for you. I'm not going to read through all these either, but I will share the highlight of this page is that anytime you're quoting something in our platform, all these coverages are available and they'll show you only bindable options. So you can always feel confident the quote you get back is something you can present and stand behind and just feel good there won't be any additional roadblocks or hurdles that come up to follow.
We have a couple
So,
more questions, Dan. First one is host liquor available for nail salons?
yes, it is. Great question. We actually can include special events coverage on the BOP. And if they'll be serving liquor at those events, then we can add the host liquor liability as well.
And another question, what about catering for restaurants?
So for restaurants, we really would prefer they not also do catering. The way we're set up, the way we're filed, and the way our platform's built, we're really here for your single exposure class risks. So caterer would be something a little distinct from a restaurant, be a great fit for your restaurants, just not so much for the caterers. If you had maybe someone who does accounting and I don't know, is also like a landscaper in their off time, that'd be a little bit of out of appetite as well.
And just
Oh,
real quick,
looks like we're getting some more questions. Yeah, let's hit these before we move on.
yep, Dan, I was just gonna say on the catering piece, if they're just like at the restaurant cooking trays of food and they're picking it up, that sort of catering is okay as
Mhm.
long as they're not leaving or delivering or doing any sort of service. So if it's just catering as far as portion of food, that's okay. But if it's actual traditional catering, that is out of not okay. A couple questions, Dan. What about a winery? And then a follow-up question is, what about live music at bars and ta taverns?
Yep. So wineries, I believe, are not in appetite yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. But we are planning to support them in the not too distant future. So I would say stay tuned. Live music is acceptable. With the caveat here, we do not write taverns or bars. We write restaurants that serve alcohol. And the difference there can be the restaurants' receipts, no more than 50% due to alcohol sales. Then we also like to make sure that they are closed by 11 p.m. So just think about the restaurants and the bars and taverns near you. The more fun it'd be to go to late at night, probably the less good of a fit it would be with us. So great questions, though. I knew this would be a great crowd, so I went and got a haircut yesterday. So keep those questions coming. Now, back to the slides. We've got some great optional coverages available for restaurants. They've got access to higher spoilage and contamination limits. They've got the premises security and coverages, the higher non-owned auto we discussed, and damage to customers' autos. Really important coverage if they're doing any valet operations. Contractors as well have some special coverages. We write them on a BOP form, which is kind of interesting. I actually have seen several come through where they also own an office building or a storage building, and we're including the building coverage. So it's one policy, one premium to keep up with, one payment, one renewal. And they also can have coverage for miscellaneous tools and equipment up to 100,000, contractors installation coverage to protect those materials and tools in transit or at a job site. And I would definitely encourage you to think about us for contractor risks. And so now let's take a look at how everything works. And before we jump into the platform itself, I like to start our journey here at mgtinsurance.com. So for anyone following along on your own screen, go there and then click on the BOP Appetite tab, the upper left-hand side. That'll take you into our appetite page, which is a really, really helpful resource to you. You can scroll down here and you can communicate with our AI appetite assistant, Amy. Amy is a great resource that can answer all kinds of appetite questions for you. I saw one come in through the chat, so let me just take this and say, are you requiring fire sprinklers in buildings? And so just to demonstrate how strong this is, we should have an answer here in just a moment. You'll see Amy's saying we don't have a blanket requirement for sprinklers, which is correct. And I do actually log in the morning sometimes and see that people have been quoting and binding business with us at 3 in the morning. Might be tough to get a lot of help at that hour, but Amy is here waiting for your questions 24/7, 365. So before we jump in, let's go ahead and answer the other parts of that question, though. So this is a really good one from Deepak. He asked, what's the max age of the building? I love this question because we actually do not have a maximum age for the building. We do want to see upgrades, though. We are writing all buildings on special form replacement cost terms, so we want to make sure they've been maintained and upgraded. The only age limit that we have is for roofs. Everything else, we'll have an inspector go out. They'll take a look, make sure that, everything looks good, looks fully operational, no major repair concerns. And it's not a case of, if you have plumbing and it's been fine for 25 years and all of a sudden it's 26, now it's out of appetite for us. We're able to be a little bit more flexible and review a risk on its own merits. So really good question. Now let's get into the fun part. We'll get signed in and that will take us into the platform. From here, there's a lot of different things that you can do. We've got options to start a quote. You can use the user management tool to add new users to your agency. We support roles for both producers and service teams. So I'd encourage you to add anyone who might benefit from access to the platform. And then if you have any appetite questions, we've got a quick link there to go get answers. Along the sidebar, you've got options for home, policies, quotes, and user management, all fairly self-explanatory. And so to begin a quote, we'll click Start New Quote. And I'll actually open it up to the floor here. If anybody on the call has a favorite restaurant, maybe a favorite barber shop or nail salon you like to go to, maybe a lawyer, an accountant, another insurance agent, real estate agent who sends you leads sometimes, shout the name of that business out in the chat. And I will show you how MGT's technology can get a fully bindable quote for that business, starting out with just the name.
Don't be shy, folks. And Dan, while we're waiting for a suggestion, we have a question about does MGT write lessor's risk? And we got somebody to suggest something.
Love it. So we do not write lessor's risk, at least not yet. I don't have a ton more information I can share. My boss is on the call right now, but I will say stay tuned.
I guess say it like that.
And
Yeah,
we
we're working on bringing it to the mid y'all. We just don't have a timeline yet, so that's why we can't really talk about it. But we're working on it, and we do have the ENS, like Dan was talking about. We do also have the ENS option. So reach out if you're interested in that.
Yep. So looks like we got a couple suggestions. Let's go ahead and use Gia Tella's Corp. So just typing that in, you can see it came up pretty fast in the keyword search. This, in my experience, has been very, very strong. It's almost always able to find that business. If you ever run into a situation where it's not, you can always click enter business info manually and then just key in their name and their address. Next, we'll click continue. And what's happening now is our technology is coming into place. We are communicating with dozens of different data vendors. We are finding over 3,900 different data points on this business, not just to pre-qualify and help you fill out the application, but also to surface important information to our underwriting team so that when something needs review, they've got all that information available right in front of them and they're able to turn it around a lot faster than someone who might have to actually go do some research and start digging and doing detective work. So you can see first off, our system classified the risk. It looks like a casual or fine dining restaurant. I think that's probably right on the money. If we did need to update that though, we can click on that field and start typing in different keywords. Maybe it's a different kind of restaurant. And then we can find the classification that best describes the risk. But I think it actually knocked it out of the park. So we'll keep that on and then click continue here. And this is where everything is really going to start to get filled out in the process. And so usually it's pretty fast. Here on my demo system, sometimes it takes a few moments to get everything lined up. But this is ultimately the part of the process that we are hoping makes your life a little easier. One thing I like to say about the answers provided by our platform is trust but verify. We have at least a 90% confidence that the answers will be accurate, but nobody knows that risk better than you. And so there's still tons of room in this process for the human element. We're not building this platform to remove that, just to enhance it and make it even better. And so I would encourage you, use that expertise, use that familiarity with the risk. And as you go through, just make sure the answers look good. And if anything needs to be adjusted, you can make those adjustments very easily. And so the first couple questions you get will always be the same. Do we need to add any building coverage and have there been any claims? We'll keep those as they are and click continue. And then in this next page, you'll start to see these pre-filled answers for us. So it's identified, not a fine dining establishment, no cooking at customer tables, no operating out of a hotel or apartment building. And so all that looks like it is more than likely correct. Now, didn't find any alcohol sales. That's no problem. Let's go ahead and add maybe 15% just to give them some alcohol sales. And again, you can see how easy it is to make any updates that you need to make along the way. We'll click continue again, finding some more details, the year it was established, entity type, knows that it's not a home-based business, number of employees. All this is looking pretty right on the money for, one of the small family restaurants that we do best with. Now, this is where we had a question about the host liquor liability come up. This is where you can add coverage for special events and add that host liquor liability. You'll see this question, do you serve liquor at special events? If you answer it yes, we'll automatically include that host liquor liability. And you'll see there's no additional questions when you change that answer. Now, if you have this pop up and they do not have any special events, I do see that happen sometimes. It seems like for restaurants, they might run specials and then something about the system kind of thinks that's a special event. You can just put 0 in that field. That way, there will not be any special events coverage attached. I'll go ahead and give them some sales numbers. Click continue again. And then in this page, we'll be able to add any additional insureds. So I do like to recommend adding those additional insureds up front if you know that they'll be needed. We can always go back and endorse a policy or update a quote, but it's always easier just to know when you get to the end of the process what the actual premium will be. There can be additional premiums for the different endorsements, and there can be some variance in there. So I would encourage you to add those when you know they'll be needed. To add those, we'll just answer one question, click Add Additional Insureds, and then select the type of additional insured, enter in their contact information, and answer a couple other questions. And then as we proceed through the quote, that'll just be included in the quote. If you click that one too many times, just click the little trash can icon to remove it, and then we'll click Continue again to go into the building section. Now, this is where you'll start to really get that kind of magical, how did it even know that type of experience. This submission is set up as a business personal property only submission. I like to do those in demos because it's just a little faster and more streamlined looking. But when you've got building coverage included, it'll find a lot of information like the construction date, the type of siding and construction that they have, information about the roof. And so it really does a lot of that kind of tedious legwork that I know we all spend a ton of time doing. It's just done for you in a few seconds. You can see here it found the square footage, found the frame construction type, knows there's no automatic sprinkler included, and then it's coming preset at 100,000 BPP. If we wanted to update that to another number, all we have to do is enter in whatever number we'd like to use here. Um, Now, quick note, I do see this come up sometimes where you have a business that is based in a strip mall or shopping center. When that happens, sometimes it'll find the square footage of the whole building and not just that one unit. So just remember as we go through, it's not a race to click continue as fast as you can. Double check that information as it's on the screen and just make sure everything looks good. Now I'll click continue again. If we need to go back and make any edits to the additional insured or to the building information, we can click this little pencil and notepad icon to do that. If we need to add any buildings, we can do that as well. For this one, though, we'll think that's done and then click continue. One last question. Do we want to opt out of TRIA coverage? We'll keep it on and click continue again. And in just a few seconds, we'll have a fully bindable quote ready to go.
What are some other questions that y'all got? Feel free to drop them in the chat. Oh, look, they just pop out. They were ready. Do you
Love it.
offer blanket additional insured certificates and endorsements? Do you have in-house inspection or outsourced?
So blanket additional insured is available. You did not see it on this submission because it's not available for restaurants. Our underwriting team would kind of say, like, what is this restaurant doing that they need blanket additional insured endorsements included? Is available for artisan contractors, though. So I would still definitely thank you for asking that question because that's an important coverage to know is available. As far as our inspection, Jason, you might have more information on that.
So it is outsourced. And there are certain things that trigger it, but ultimately what it comes down to is underwriter discretion, right? So on any given risk that we write, if the underwriting team chooses to inspect, they will work with you. You will be aware of it as the agent. You'll be partnered up with them on it. But we do third party the inspection. And
Great,
then
great question, great answer.
yeah, well, likewise, man. So what is the max liability coverage?
We could go up to 2 mil, 4 mil on an instant quote basis. So I would definitely note that. We don't write umbrellas or excess, at least not yet. So 2 mil, 4 mil would be the max we could do.
And that really is on an exception basis, just to make sure that we're setting the correct tone for that. Most of what we
Mhm.
write is 1, 2. If you request 2, 4, There are certain aspects that it is the underwriter is going to want to understand. Has the policy
Mhm.
been on a 2-4 previously? Like, why do they need it for the specific risk? Those sort of things are going to come up because it's going to be a referral every time. So generally speaking, 1-2 is the limit that most folks write everything on. And then if your insured does have good cause to need a 2-4, then we have that option available as well.
Mhm.
And we got asked about commercial auto as well. We are working on a product to release in certain key states with certain partners just to see how it goes. There's a potential that it'll be coming to the full market later. It is very much in early stages of development, so nothing to really share yet on that. But we got another question about trucking and small fleet. I can tell you that's probably not going to be a part of our first release of small auto. So give us some time on that one. That may be down the road, but y'all, if it is, it's going to be a little ways away. Are we able to quote apartment risk online in tier one and tier two in Texas?
I'm gonna take this in two answers. Answer one is easy. No, we just don't write apartments, and so you wouldn't really have a way to enter that submission in the first place. Second answer though is we do write in tier one and tier two counties, not just in Texas but other coastal states as well. The way we handle the wind hail, I think, can be interesting and can be a pretty good selling point at times. We never exclude wind hail. We simply do not write buildings in areas where we would exclude it. And so in coastal areas, building coverage may not be available, but you can still run a submission for business personal property only. And when you do that, there's no wind hail deductible. It's just one all perils deductible.
It's really good. And just to add really quickly, we can potentially consider that on our E&S side. Right now, we exclusively offer that through AmWins. So please, again, like I mentioned earlier with the LRO, reach out if you have any questions about that. And it's not a product that we sell directly at this time. It may hit the market eventually. We're strongly growing our E&S opportunities right now, but we do potentially have an opportunity for that in the E&S market. Premium audit after the policy term, and then same very similar question, sales
Yep.
audit. And I can jump on this one really quick, Dan. So
Sure.
the answer is sometimes, yes. We do reserve the right to do that. And if that comes back as plus or minus sales, that will be assessed just like you're used to in the commercial market with other policies that you work. So yes, premium audits are potential with our policies. We do reserve the right to audit.
Yep.
Steve asked how you can access E&S market. Like I mentioned, it's through AmWins. So if you are appointed with AmWins, then that's where we exclusively sell our E&S products at this time, right? So you would want to reach out to your local AmWins branch and see whether or not you can get access to the product there. Great questions, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. I knew this would be a good group. So, where we are at now in the journey, we have completed our quote. The next step is to get everything tuned up and really dialed in so that it's a perfect fit for this business. To do that, we can scroll down. You'll see all the different options for sublimits and deductibles and optional coverages. If we need to add any, maybe we want to add hired non-owned auto to this risk. We'll do that. And then you'll see in the upper right-hand corner that premium will update for us live as we go through. You can make as many changes to that as you'd like, so you can really get a sense of the change, like the effect of each change, how that adjusts the premium and the coverage. And then once you've got everything set up just the way you like, click update quote, and that will lock in those changes. So then it's what we would consider the current active version of that quote. It updates the PDF quote letter. And then the next step that you'll see is how we'll send a link to the applicant so they can finalize the policy. To do that, we'll click continue to bind, confirm the effective date, enter in their contact information, and then check the box. One thing I will say is I do see a lot of agents, especially when they're new to working with MGT, they want that extra layer of comfort and security. And so they'll put their own contact information into this box here, and then they'll get CC'd on all the communications that go out to that insured. You don't have to do that. We will keep you in the loop. You can also manage it through our platform. But again, if you want that extra layer of security and confidence, go ahead. It's not going to break anything either. So now we'll click confirm and send. This will send over a payment link. It's usually very fast. And then once they receive that, they'll be able to click the link in that email so they can go through and finalize the policy. This page that it takes you to next will actually update for you live so that you can keep track of what's happening with that link once it's been sent out. This is really helpful, might just save you a little bit of follow-up, or at least let you know when you do follow up, kind of how you need to handle that conversation. And if you're ever talking to somebody who says they didn't receive the link, they'd like to get it by text message instead, maybe they just need a little extra hand-holding through the process, you can click this copy share link button here in the upper right-hand corner, and that'll copy that same link to your clipboard so you can send it out in an email or text, or what I'll do here is just open up a new tab, paste it in, and then you can see what it looks like to actually buy and finalize the policy. We are direct bill. We support monthly, quarterly, and annual payments. If we do select a quarterly or monthly installment, we can click View Payment Schedule to see what each installment is and when it will be due. So really helpful here just to have that confidence going in to know what to expect. And then we'll click Continue again. In the next page, you'll be able to e-sign all the policy documents. Now, we do see sometimes there are agents that we work with like to help applicants through this whole process. I have to recommend that they complete this e-signature process, but then you can pick it up right from there to go through and finalize the payment details for them. So to do the e-signing, it's really, really easy. We'll just give it the official squiggle. Everybody always loves how fast it is. We'll agree to e-signing. We'll click Start Signing to go through line by line and review every page, or we can click Sign All to knock everything out in one shot. All those documents then do get emailed over to the policyholder. I actually already have them in my inbox. It's that fast. And then they'll also get emailed over to you, and they'll be available in the platform as well so that you can access those if you need them in the future. Last step here is just a complete payment. I will give you all a heads up. I think it's pretty much standard these days that payment vendors charge fees for their services. That is the case with ours as well. Credit card, debit card payments work out to about 3%. ACH is generally more cost effective. That'll be $5 for quarterly and annual payments. I think it's about $1.75 for monthly payments. Then we'll enter in the name of the account holder, their account number, and then auto pay is automatically selected. You can always toggle that to unselect it if they'd prefer, but we like to say keep it on because it definitely does help retention. And then we'll agree to the terms of use, complete transaction, and we've got the invoice number so we know that bind request went through, payment's gone through, and now when we click back into that link, you'll see this updates for us live. So we know that it's been bound, and this all, again, got connected within a few seconds. Next step is we can click View Policy Details to go view policy information. And I will say service teams absolutely love this page. We get so much good feedback on it. It just has a lot of the important information right at your fingertips. So when someone needs help, it's really easy to do that. You can see policyholder information, update that if needed. You can see the payment plan and how they've made payments and what's upcoming and when it'll be due. Download invoices and receipts. Download all these signed documents. If somebody has questions on their policy, hey, what's my BPP limit? You can just find it here. You don't have to dig through 85 pages of PDF to get there. Just a couple clicks and you've got an answer in just seconds. One other great feature is in the Quick Actions button. You can click that. You can generate certificates of insurance. It's pretty smart. We ask if you have any additional insureds that need the certificate. If so, it'll check the boxes for additional insured and waiver of subrogation. If not, you can always create kind of a general certificate holder proof of insurance. Then we can always do the payment reminder as well. Service teams, this is probably their single number one top favorite feature. Just being able to send a quick payment reminder to somebody with an upcoming installment due.
And Dan, we have a question in the queue. Would we receive a notice of cancellation for premium payments, non-renewals? Essentially, what sort of communications does the agent get regarding policies, or do they need to go to the platform?
So, Jason, you might actually be a little bit more plugged into this process.
Yeah. So yes is the answer. They are going to both. I think checking in the portal is always a good idea. You should be in there regularly to make sure that statuses are maintained because you can check on billing in that portion as well. But yes, those notices are going to both the insured and the agent. And if for some reason you do notice that that isn't happening as you write with us, please reach out because that is the intent to be happening. We've had a couple of those when we first launched our new platform where it wasn't always being sent the way that it was, but I feel pretty confident that it's resolved since then. So it's a great question. Probably a little bit too much information for your answer, but you should be receiving those notices right alongside your insured, and we'd love to hear if that's not the case.
Yep. And so we do try and make things easy for you. I will say you never know what's going on at the UPS these days or USPS these days. So good idea to just bookmark our platform. I would say check it at least 2 or 3 times a day just to make sure. And while you're in there, if you need to run some quotes, hey, you're already there. You know where to go.
You're showing our age, Dan. It's all delivered digitally now. It doesn't go through USPS anymore.
Oh, well, I feel instantly old now. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jason.
No, hey, listen, I'm right there with you. When I started, man, I still had paper files on my desk as an underwriter. So yeah, the world has changed very quickly.
So we had a question also about additional language that needs to be added to a COI. I would say yes if there's anything very specific. You want to make sure that that certificate's going to be accurate. Never hurts to reach out for some extra support in those cases. So really good questions. It always takes a little bit longer when you've got me narrating along the way, and we had so many good questions come in too. But I think we still knocked that out in maybe what, 15 minutes tops. We got from starting the quote to bound and issued. So a couple more slides for you. Uh, I wanted to show off some of the risks that we've bound recently. I think this does a good job at kind of illustrating the types of accounts will be a good help to you with. We did an electronics retailer in Texas. This was actually a cell phone store in Houston, which can be a pretty tough territory to cover. They needed a million, 2 million GL, 15,000 BPP, came in at 750, which is our minimum premium in that state. And they accomplished that, replaced a non-renewal with a bound admitted ISO, no theft exclusion, no theft sublimit policy in just 9 minutes. We did a convenience store in South Carolina, 1 mil, 2 mil GL, 75,000 BPP, came into about 3,500 in annual premium. And they found significant savings compared to the incumbent carrier, and it took them 6 minutes to knock that out. If anybody has ever talked to convenience store owners, they're all about the fast answer. Hard to find a fast answer with those businesses. And so working with MGT, you can easily win those accounts just by being the first one to get back to them. We also did a seafood restaurant in Georgia. I like to show this off because I think a lot of times people see the way our system works and they think, oh man, I'm going to send all my minimum premium accounts through here. And, we would love to help with those. But I think the big secret is that it's just as easy to knock out some of the larger ones as well. We did a seafood restaurant in Georgia, 1 mil, 2 mil GL, 1 mil, 2 mil liquor liability, about $1 million in property, came into about 15,000 in annual premium. And they really got in there and tailored all those different sublimits and optional coverages to make sure it fit that specific business's risk. Then last slide, and maybe the most important one here. You have got a full team that's here to support you. Myself and Annalise. Our information is right on the screen. If you want to copy this down or screenshot it, I'll leave this up for a few minutes. We've got an underwriting team. They are available by phone. They answer their emails. We have an instant message support that I would always encourage you to use as kind of a first resource. Um, the great thing about our chat support is that it will give them some extra information, like what page of our website you're on, what quote you're working on. So it just makes it a little easier to get you the help that you need.
And we have a couple of questions here, Dan. A couple I can answer. Is underwriting available via phone? We do have a regular support phone number that you see here on this list, but for underwriting, we definitely prefer either an email or a chat function. With so many requests, it's easier for our underwriter to manage requests via chat. And I will say that our underwriter is very responsive. Veronica does a great job of answering all emails and all chats effectively. If you really need to get on the phone, I'm sure she'll be able to do that for you. Another question we have is a policy downloaded into the management system. We are currently not set up for any policy management systems, but it is a request that we're getting constantly. So we are constantly revisiting that and seeing how we can implement that into the platform. No promises, but we are aware of its desire. Another thing I like to note, guys, before we let you go, as far as our appetite goes, we have a really good, robust appetite. A couple of classes I always like to highlight are our distribution classes. We do various kinds of distribution, food distribution, auto parts, cleaning supply, janitorial supply. So we got some good distribution markets, as well as grocery stores. We do various kinds of grocery stores. It can be a small grocery store, medium-sized grocery store, carniceria, things of that nature. We're a good fit for those grocery stores.
Absolutely. I see sometimes the auto parts distributors come through, and I'm just like, wow, we write that. You can be surprised by some of these types of business that we're a really good help with. You won't be alone. We also do great with electronic stores, medical offices, really strong. Restaurants is another one I would encourage you to think of us for. And so a lot of good appetite is available to you through MGT. So we are, I think, right at time. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. If we've got a couple other questions, we'll answer those before we log off. And if you do have any questions, make sure to get those in now, and we'll answer those while we're all here together.
There's one question here, Dan. Amy likes to direct quote changes to submitting an endorsement form online. Is that the correct process? No. So if you have a quote that needs to be changed and maybe it's in a referral status, you're not going to be able to edit a quote in referral status. If you get onto our chat, get past Amy, get to a human, they'll be able to make those changes for you while it's in the referral status. The other alternative is the underwriter approves the quote, it is then released, then you can make those changes to the quote. So Amy's a little bit confused in that, and I'll bring that up to the team to make sure we're giving correct directions.
Yep, absolutely. So the endorsement form that is only for bound policies. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. If you enjoyed the show today, jump in, run some quotes, let me know I did a good job. Email Jason, let him know I did a good job. And thank you again. I think that one question didn't come up today, but comes up a lot as people will write in and they'll ask, what does MGT stand for? And this afternoon, I think it stood for Mighty Good Time. I know I've had one. Hope you have too. Thanks again for taking some time for us. We know it's valuable, and we look forward to helping you win on more small business accounts soon.
Bye, folks. Thank you.